Welcome back to the Insiders podcast. It's Matt here. This is a little special. About a week ago, I had the chance to sit down with a special guest, a returning special guest. That is Chris Thompson from Joe, which is Wavelength Magazine, Longboarder Magazine, UK Surf and Skate Expo, which this podcast is about, as well as other things. Great to chat to Chris about what's upcoming this year, things he's learned from last year, what happened last year, all the successes and things that's changing. And yeah, just exciting things to come this year. So this is a chat with me and Chris. Like I said, it was about a week ago, so my hair gets longer and enjoy it. And we'll be back soon with more. Welcome back to the Insiders, Chris. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good. As always, wishing there was more waves, but it looks like there's some on the way to us. So, and it's not been too bad to us. So
No, we had
yeah,
a pretty good run as well, didn't we, in that heat wave?
yeah, the heat wave with the waves was definitely not on a bingo card for this summer, but I take it. And then now it's gone like northerlies and grey for a bit, and then hopefully it comes back.
It's coming back.
It would be perfect to get that weather and those waves on the new weekend of the Surf and Skate Expo for this year, which is primarily why we're having this conversation.
I have put a request in for exactly that. Warm weather, waves, light winds. See how we go.
That well, if that comes about, we've everyone's got a thank you in one way for delivering that, as well as delivering the expo. Um, so obviously the expo is in its second year this year. Um, Quite a few changes this year that we'll maybe run through. But last year, obviously, firstly, I wanted to congratulate yourself on delivering a Surf and Skate Expo to the UK, to Newquay, doing that. Like, I'm always in the position where I love the fact that people are pushing these things in the UK, and I think I said it last year when we chatted, I've always been jealous when you see the expos in California or in Australia and stuff. So, firstly, congratulations. And yeah, how was last year?
Yeah, it was good. I appreciate those comments. Sometimes there's a lot of headwind with things like this. Like it's proven new concepts to people or communities, industries that are just that haven't had them. It's always been quite tricky. I think year one was super interesting because it hadn't existed before. Talking to the brands and the surfing public about what it was going to be was a bit of a challenge because it was all in my head and hadn't existed before. So it, in hindsight, I think we pulled off quite a successful year one. It was obviously free to attend, but we asked for people to QR code entrance so we could gauge kind of footfall. And for year one, we had just shy of 10,000 people through the gates over the 3 days. And we had obviously Tony Alva come and skate and some really great presentations from like Andrew Cotton and some really good stuff happen. So all in all, we're pretty happy with what happened. And also bear in mind, we're not an events company; we are a marketing agency. So I think the team really rallied and made it work, which was brilliant. Lots of learnings, as you'd expect from year one, that have been applied to year two. But all in all, we were super happy, and the feedback we got from the surfing and skateboarding community has been really positive.
Yeah, obviously I attended as a fan last year, and I thought it was great. I thought that hearing that you got nearly 10,000 people through the gate, especially because it was early September, which before when we had a chat before the event and stuff, I was like, that's exactly the time I would pick. Early September. Normally we get great weather, normally kind of good chance of getting good waves. And it was really windy and like on and off rain, wasn't it? And um to hear that 10,000 people came through like the gates was incredible. And I thought that it was a great event to come to. And I know a lot of people came and had a really good time. Um you mentioned obviously changes applied to that, and it's probably a good time to talk about this year's. So firstly, you changed the date.
Yeah, change date. I mean, you're going back to that. Like we last year, it was a beautiful summer. I think all the way back from May, June, July, it was sunny. It did hardly rained. And then the weekend of the expo, we had a yellow weather warning on the build day and a uh, amber weather warning on the Sunday. So we can, for a first year event, it tested our backup plans. So, I mean, the date change isn't really reflective of hoping to get better weather because we live in England and we live in Cornwall and anything could happen. Um, but for us, it was more around having it at the end of July. It's the first weekend of school holidays, just energy. It's the kickoff to summer, is how we see it. And I like I was thinking what you were thinking. September sessions. It's a great way to wrap up summer, but actually, I think it makes more sense for the expo to kick off the summer. Like I say, more energy. It just signals the start of summer now. And then the weather will be whatever the weather will be, and we'll just weatherproof things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fingers crossed, and obviously, you know, hopefully not that it isn't bad weather. And I think you are giving yourselves the best chance. And I think it is a great kind of timing and for that. Obviously, it's a couple of weeks before Boardmasters, which is nice because people are going to be getting more excited for more and more events. Like you say, the school holidays. So with with this year's expo, what can we expect and what's new?
Yeah, so the biggest changes for this year, aside from the change in date, is we've gone from having one stage, which is the Yeti stage in the expo hall, to three stages. So we still have Yeti a come back for another year and a sponsor in the expo hall, which was brilliant last year. And then we also have the extra tough Tales from the Frontier stage, which is in the undercover in the Expo Village, and a third stage with the Rising Tide Festival, which will be at the Orchard. So, regardless of weather, there's going to be three times the amount of talks and presentations, fireside chats, and interviews going on. So that's the biggest one in terms of content. We've got the Athletic Expo ramp back for a second year. So lots of like professional skateboard and BMX demos happening throughout the weekend. And new for this year is the launch of the Nanu Skate ramp, which is a really cool addition to this year's expo. So it's a modular skate ramp that can be put together in half an hour, and it's 32 foot long and 4 foot high. And that's going to provide a really great activation for more skateboarding demos. They've got some tricks up their sleeve there. So lots more surfing events. We've got the Salt Rock Vintage Showdown, the off-cut trophy expression session on Sunday both down at Great Western, skate jams at Concrete Waves, just loads more going on. Some of the brands like Passenger, Patagonia, Reef, and Red Paddle are coming and doing a lot more. So
Yeah.
there's a lot more to do. More food and beverage. Yeah, so kind of the same. Like we're being really sensible with this event, right? We're not backed by big investment firms or not owned by anyone. So we have to grow this sensibly and organically. And so we want to obviously improve in every area that we touched on last year, but sensibly, so people can expect to see a lot more, but obviously still keeping it organic and kind of the more community driven event that it is.
Yeah, I mean that sounds great. I weirdly, I actually think that my favorite part of last year was down and at the skate events, seeing the skate jams and the community packed into there. A couple of questions. So you mentioned a Salt Rock, was it Salt Rock Vintage Showdown?
Salt Rock Showdown, yeah, on Saturday down at Great Western.
So what's that?
It's not vintage surfers, it's going to be vintage surfboards. So we're
Nice.
inviting 16 of the UK's top surfers to be confirmed. We'll be releasing those names in the next couple of weeks to come and compete by random raffle on a vintage surfboard. So think twin fins, single fins. It could be a 1960s log,
Yeah.
so they'll be given a board at random, and then it's all about flow, speed, and steez.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun event, and that's in partnership with Nuki Board Riders, which is really cool, and obviously then Bearman down at Great Western as well.
Yeah. Great. Sick. And then you also mentioned the off-cut, whatever you called it.
Eco expression sessions. So this is part of the Rising Tide element of the festival. So the lads from Rising Tide are putting on an expression session around. So it's kind of similar concept, but instead of vintage boards, they're going to be riding UK built eco sustainable surfboards.
Great. Yeah.
So quite different, but it'd be really good to kind of showcase how those boards perform. And again, it's just a bit of fun, nothing too serious.
Yeah. No, I think that's really cool. And I think it's a really good way of introducing some new that were just education, but in a fun way on the materials that can be used. And obviously, we are essentially it's a surf and skate expo, and the surf end of it and the surf side of it is um you have to talk about the planet and you have to talk about sustainability because that's our playground. So I think that's a really cool addition. I think that's fun. I love the Salt Rock vintage showdown element of it, as well as the kind of offcuts side of it, and also it's a great way to. I don't know who you've got involved in terms of the shapers and stuff, but sometimes it's a great way to discover a new shaper as well. I remember a few years ago, I didn't really know about the capabilities of Brad Rockfoot and Rockfoot shapes, and then he was in a Visla kind of I can't remember what it was called, but it was something to do with weird boards, and he shaped this asymmetrical thing, and it was incredible, like seeing the board and seeing all of his like how much time and effort and artwork went into his boards. I was like, oh, it's amazing, and it put me onto someone new. So if that happens again at these little events, that's really really cool. Um, Obviously, last year you mentioned you had Tony Alva, which is a pretty much like he's an icon across surfing and skating. Um, who are some of the kind of big hitters that we can expect this year?
Yeah, so for this year, we've got Dylan Graves and Tim Latte coming over, doing a really great chat around their exploration to Finnmark, which up until a few months ago, I didn't even realize that we had a country on this planet called Finnmark, but we do, and it has amazing waves. It's dark 80% of the time, but when there is light, there's some exceptional setups up there, and they've been exploring that coastline. So obviously, Dylan's a bit of a legend in himself as well, and Tim's a fantastic artist capturing all of that. We have Laura Crane joining us for a fireside chat. So it's been really good to catch up with her. And just full roster of really great presentations and panels, including yourself.
Yeah, yeah, we are honoured and privileged. I know that Darren's not invited because he's a wild card. No, he's he's obviously crazy busy running his surf camps in the summer. But yeah, we will be there, obviously discussing or having a conversation with the new national champions, which I'm really, really stoked to be a part of and really honoured as well, which is going to be fun. Which is another really cool part of last year is discovering new people and new kind of concepts and ideas that are happening around the surf world and skating as well. It just felt like a really cool kind of crossover event, and I feel like this year to me sounds like it's going to be bigger and I want to say better. Like not that last year wasn't incredible, but I feel like if it wasn't better this year, I think you'd probably not be happy with that as well, knowing.
Oh, you can improve anything, so
Yeah,
it has to be better, even if it's 5% better. It's
yeah, exactly. And some things that obviously happened last year that we're going to see again this year, the UK Surfer Awards.
Yes, that's going to be. I was actually blown away. I knew that was going to be a great event because it's massively long overdue. But I was actually blown away. I think that was one of my favorite parts of last year. So the yeah, obviously the evening we celebrated 48 finalists in 12 categories, and I think we had about 700 people between the expo hall and the Yeti stage and the bar. It was pretty.
Yeah,
It was a great night. So I'm really looking forward to that this year. It's gonna be a good one.
yeah, and I think between Lucas, Lila, and Ben, I think they went home with a good chunk. Which is, I mean, it's amazing though. Like we're seeing a UK shaper on the world stage. Obviously, I know that Ben's been putting boards under the feet of Laura Crane as well, which is really really cool. Other obviously world class athletes, including himself as well. So it's and I personally think what I really like about it is it creates a really healthy like element of competition between the shapers and stuff in the UK as well.
Yeah,
Like in a really healthy way, but like, because they're all mates, everyone pretty much knows each other on a good level. They've all got respect for each other. So to be able to kind of get those bragging rights for the next 12 months on certain events and sorry, certain awards um, and stuff is really cool. It's also cool to see some of the names resurfacing. I think
yeah,
I think one of the ones that was great was Phoebe Strachan.
yeah,
She's in the final names for a couple, I think, of awards, and she also won the Down the Line Warriors of Winter, which
yeah.
it's incredible. It's like again like bringing these people and celebrating the whole of the UK. Um, Obviously Phoebe's but mainly up north. So I think the UK Surfer Awards again, yeah, amazing part of the expo and an amazing kind of night. And again, hopefully this year is just as good, if not well, better as well. And
Yeah,
be interesting to see which way the voting goes.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, this year, like last year, it's been 100% publicly voted as well. Last time I looked, we were around 2,000 votes. So it's great to see people get behind it in a really meaningful way. So it's these are the people's champions really. It's down to the public to vote the winners in. So it's really nice to see a real mix of familiar names, new names, and yeah, we'll find out the winners on the night.
Do you ever one question uh which has just come to my head, but do you see a evolution of the awards where there's going to be potential that there's certain awards or new awards added where they're not publicly voted?
Yeah, we were having this discussion actually yesterday around exactly that, and whether there are awards or certain categories that are more put towards a diverse panel based on the accomplishments of either that surfer or brand or shaper, rather than it being voted in. So I think there's a bit of a balance, and it might be a bit of a combo as well. So it's likely that next year's award will have some sort of hybrid
Yeah,
where it's either the panel has got the finalists and the public vote, or the public vote and then the panelists choose. So there's an element of like
yeah,
accomplishment to it as well as as well as the popularity and the champions champion kind of stuff. So I think
yeah.
there's that fine balance, because equally you wouldn't want it to be exclusive and just a selection of people are choosing. I think it's nice to have that input
Hmm.
from the surfing community as well. So it's just finding that sweet balance. And for the last year and this year, I think we're really happy with who's there. And then I think to spice it up for next year, we might split it out a bit more, have a few different categories as well. Yeah.
I just
The,
I had a second thought after asking that question. So for next year, I would nominate a UK Surf Podcast of the Year award, and
there you go.
instead of it being publicly voted, I know a couple of guys who could judge it, and
That's great. I think Mitch from the UK Surf Show has already he's already pitched that idea, so you guys might have to go head
he's
to head.
he's probably got more money than me, so he's probably able to line some more pockets. He's definitely got. I reckon he's got a few more people tapped up in already. If he's just no, but to be fair, those boys do a great job. I know Mitch well, and they do a great job as well. So, um, yeah, it's again healthy competition, right?
Oh, it's
And
just fun, isn't it? And it kind of gives everyone a bit of a platform as well. Like at least it is like it is for fun. But it's a nice central point to the year. It gets everyone together. It's like if anyone's taking this too seriously, they're on the wrong path. It's about bringing everyone together and just acknowledging the people and the brands that are doing good stuff. So
exactly, and ultimately, I think like the key sentiment as well is it's overall for the benefit of the UK surf and skate industry.
yeah, and also the Groms, like they
That's
were
yeah,
going crazy that Friday night. I think they were just like tearing it up, loving it. Like it was so fun seeing and talking to like Eddie from UK Board Riders and just saying what like it's given them a bit of a froth to like focus on as well. And you know, some of the really young kids like to you know to give them something else other than competition to like aspire to potentially get into one day. So
yeah.
the energy level of those the kids was awesome as well. So to have that in the calendar is really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that that carries through not just to the kids, but like through all ages and ranges as well. Because there's quite a lot on the flip side, there's quite a lot of people I spoke to who kind of was like, it's nice that something's back. You know, like um obviously Boardmasters is Boardmasters, but even that used to be a lot different and bigger people came into town. But doing something that and I know it is a UK Surf and Skate Expo, but bringing it to Nuki and bringing it like I know that the reception last year was just a wall like it was just a positive noise of like it's just nice that we've got an event that's showcasing and and like you say about the kids on the flip side to that is that this does benefit the industry. And if the industry gets stronger, then it's only going to benefit those kids as well. So it's all kind of like once it gets rolling, it should hopefully benefit and start to moss ball together loads of parts of the different areas. And then it kind of hopefully becomes a
Yeah,
giant monster.
I think that's a really interesting point because particularly with like our weight like with the wavelength hat on like you do get brands kind of like look at surfing in the UK and they want to put money in and stuff and there's not a lot that's already built. I mean, there is a lot that's built already, obviously, like Surfing England and GB Surfing and those guys. But outside of that, other than Boardmasters, which is obviously more a music festival, that we're building things that non-endemic brands can come and be a part of, which then it just we're starting to build things that support the surfing and skateboarding community on a wider level and get a little bit more organized and just then that filters down into the surf clubs, the schools, the national governing bodies and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
all. I mean, it's a part. It's one piece of the puzzle that hopefully will contribute to just making it a bit stronger. Um,
I completely agree. I think like you just said there about how you've got Surfing England and GB Surfing and Boardmasters, which you can put all into one. They are one corner of surfing, which is competitions. So there's a lot of people out there who aren't at a competition level of surfing, but they still want to be involved in. And you know, like I've never done a comp in my life other than, well, actually, weirdly once at a wavelength festival when it was completely flat, and we ended up doing. egg and spoon races up the stairs, which um, me, Harry Timpson, Bo Betteridge, and who's the other one? Job Harris actually won it. We are defending wavelength surf champions actually.
Oh,
But
nice.
like I personally don't get drawn really to surfing England or GB surfing kind of competitions. And there's a whole world of surfers that are the same as that, that the expo is introducing to the culture and and allowing another area. So like rather than it just being the competition
Mm.
corner, we've now got like that come out. So I think it's a great level of exposure for kids, for adults, for everybody on that front as
Yeah,
well.
and I think that plays to like the UK Surf and Skates Expo's nemesis, ultimate enemy is doom scrolling
Yeah.
and online. So what we at the expo want to do is bring people together in real life, and
Yeah.
that's you see the surfers on Instagram, you connect with the brands on TikTok, but actually to go offline and be together for the weekend, whether that's at the UK Surfer Awards or the European Surf Film Festival or just hanging out in the Expo Village. That's what makes the UK Surf Skate Expo really cool, because we're getting people together, and that was one of the learnings from last year that we're applying for the award night this year. Is we it took ages to get everyone to get seated for the award night because 600 people had arrived and they'd not seen each other for a long time. Like you
Yeah.
could literally walk around, you could literally walk around and just hear people say, "I haven't seen you in a year. Oh, where have you?" It was like a massive catch up. So like this year, like we will have live music and drinks for a couple of hours and then start the awards a bit later. But it just really goes to show that we probably interact with each other a lot online and social, and you're liking posts, you're doing commenting and stuff. But then to just have everyone in the same space offline is really what the expo is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's an amazing part to it as well. And I also think for other people as well, it's like meeting, making new connections, but also like, like the biggest names in the UK industry are going to be there, but they're all very normal people who are mainly super, super generous with their time, happy to help with anything. If you've got questions, happy to kind of give advice, happy to just chat to you about. At the end of the day, most of them, if not all of them, are still just absolute frothers who love surfing and want to see it drive forward and skating. And it's an opportunity, like again, to build a relationship with, like, so if you are a slightly newer surfer, or even if you're a higher level surfer and you've been buying certain boards like Firewires or whatever like that, and you go to an event and you see Marky Lascelles or you see Skin Dog or Nigel Simmons or whatever, and then you're stood next to the bar, shoulder to shoulder with them, and you have a joke. Suddenly, like you've got this kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Like he's actually a real nice guy. I want to ride his boards. That like kind of thing. Hopefully, none of them are too drunk or a dick to anyone, but they shouldn't be. But it's also that is like I always feel much more connected to like working with people or supporting people or riding on boards with people who and that you kind of look at it and you're like, yeah, sick. Like he shaped it or they shaped it. So I think it's a great event for the community. It brings like a whole world together, and I'm excited for this year. Um, Remind us of the dates.
It's the this year it's the Saturday and Sunday, so it's the 25th and 26th of July.
Be there, everyone. Still free to enter.
Still free to enter the Expo Village, Rise the
Yeah,
Tide, and the beach element. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So the only ticketed bits are just the evening and the Expo Hall, but
yeah.
all the information is on the website.
We will put the link in the show notes and the Instagram caption for anyone who needs to go to the website, but I'm sure you can find it anywhere anyway. Thanks so much for your time. Really, really keen for this year. Can't wait to be there. A little bit nervous for the chat, but that's a good thing. Really excited for it as well. and yeah, really excited for every other aspect.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I look forward to seeing you there. What are we, T-7 weeks? So plenty of time to polish up on your
Yeah,
panel.
well, the one thing I've not done too badly with during my life is talking. So I think I'm slightly
You'll
more
be fine.
confident than if it was a surf comp.
Or an egg and spoon race.
Oh, I'm champion at that. So that's the only thing I'd take above talking. No,
Wicked.
thanks so much for your time. And yeah, can't wait for the expo. Congratulations for last year again. And yeah, I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Yeah, nice one. Thanks, Matthew.
Cheers, mate.